we're going to hop to some national news. Congressman Mike Quigley joins us now. Talk about the Hunter Biden fiasco that happened on Capitol Hill this week. Congressman, thank you so much for being with us today.
Good morning. Hoping to make it through the snow and get home.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Boy, are you in D.C. or are you?
Yeah, we're in D.C.
Yeah.
We still have votes this morning, and then it's you don't buy a ticket, you buy a chance to get home.
Yeah,
We'll
be careful because Nick was just reporting there was a ground stoppage at O'Hare this morning. Hopefully flights will be picking up again soon, but right now we're just kind of in a snow globe right here, so you might have to be prepared to wait a little bit.
That's okay.
Pack your patience, as they say, when I say that. But, Congressman, what was going on? So Hunter Biden made this surprise appearance on Capitol Hill, didn't even end up testifying, but that was quite a fiasco.
Yeah, I think some of my colleagues, sometimes on both sides of the aisle, forget how important decorum and respect is. You can disagree without being disagreeable. And, that was as low a point as we get here at times.
Yeah, and Congressman Biggs from Arizona even said, I would have liked to have heard Hunter Biden say a few words. So you get a Republican congressperson from Arizona now saying, I would have really liked to have heard something from him, but didn't get to hear anything.
Yeah, let's put this in perspective. Hunter Biden is facing very serious and concerning charges from the federal government. And like anyone else, if he's found guilty, he should be held accountable. No one is above the law, not even the president or his son. But putting this in perspective, on the January 6th issue and a few others, my colleagues, Mr. Jordan, Mr. Meadows, Mr. Perry, Speaker McCarthy, ignored lawful subpoenas. No one should ignore a lawful subpoena, but it's important to look at some of the circumstances here with Hunter Biden. On multiple occasions, the Chairman Comer, invited Hunter Biden to testify and said he could choose whether to come in a private deposition or public. He chose a public hearing, and then the chairman decided, no, it has to be in private. And that's where the disagreement arose. So we'll see what the next step is. I'd like to think that we remind ourselves that we have other important business to get done here. We haven't funded the federal government. We have 2 international crises to address. We have important reauthorizations to do. Let's get our priorities straight.
Nick, say hi to Congressman Quigley.
Good morning, Congressman. Quick question to just back with Hunter just for a second. So if they decide to hold him in contempt, how is that punishable? What goes along with that?
Well, they refer it to justice. So the Congress doesn't get to be the judge, jury, and executioner, and then it's up to the Justice Department to decide. Now, appreciate the fact that there's case law that says that there needs to be a good faith interaction with the witness that they've called, and they're supposed to arrive at a solution. It's hard to imagine that anybody's going to punish a witness who offered to testify publicly, right? We want open government, So the question is, they were saying, what are you hiding? He has agreed to testify publicly. Doesn't sound like he's hiding anything.
You mentioned before, obviously there's other business going on that needs attention immediately. Funding for Ukraine, whether or not that happens. Funding for more war in the Middle East. We're facing another pending government shutdown, although I doubt that will happen. Where do we stand on all of this right now?
Well, there is a tentative deal to fund the government, as there was in June when Speaker McCarthy reached a bipartisan agreement. We call them the top lines. There's 12 bills that fund the government. They've agreed to the top line. Now they've got to decide the how to divide it within the 12. Well, what did Shakespeare say? Many the slip twixt the cup and the lip.
Right.
We're not there yet. It fell apart when the former speaker reneged, caving into the 8 or 9 far right. We're not sure what Speaker Johnson's going to do. I'd like to think he'll go along with this, again, bipartisan, bicameral deal. In the meantime, we're going to punt and have a continuing resolution probably next week till February. Hopefully we'll come to an agreement. In the meantime, there are negotiations going on the Senate side for those supplementals you're referring to, dealing with Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and the southern border policy. That comes to us. I think it gets done. But again, folks have to stay focused.
Absolutely, absolutely. We know we only have you for a few minutes here, Congressman, and we appreciate your time. When you do eventually hop on that plane and you get home, you're going to see migrants at O'Hare in record numbers. We continue in Chicago, and now the suburbs, Aurora, Hinsdale, Joliet, continue to get busloads and busloads of migrants, many of these cities being overrun, including in Chicago. Where do we stand on federal funding, federal help, any sort of, I can't even say solution at this point, but just help?
Well, look, long-term solution, secure the border, pass comprehensive immigration reform, long overdue. Address the core problems to the extent you can diplomatically that are causing folks to migrate. And then, as you mentioned, the federal government has to step up at a much higher level to help with the resources necessary to secure the border, rebuild the system that handles and processes immigrants, and, of course, help the cities who are addressing the migrants' needs.
But in the short term, though, Congressman, is there anything on the horizon that would suggest that, like Illinois or Chicago, would be able to tap into some federal funds or get federal funds?
Well, they have, but it's just simply not enough. So, and that's exactly what we're working on. Obviously, getting the budget passed would help a great deal because we can set those numbers higher to address it at the border and in all of these cities.
But there'd be nothing in a CR.
CR's something that's CR means continuing. So you basically are doing what you did last year, which is not adding. But you can have what they call anomalies, getting into the weeds here. Yeah. I'm not sure there's going to be many of those because people all have to agree. I'm all for it. It's the right thing to do. It's why we're here trying to get to those critical points and why circuses like yesterday are distractions.
Absolutely. Congressman, thank you so much for your time. Get home safe, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you so much. It's Congressman Mike Quigley.